Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in this one, going back to my roots. So 20 years ago when I first got my first home, started DIY stuff, a half bath or a small bathroom was one of my first big DIY projects. So we get to do another one here in the new house, but I'll show you what I got going on. I call it my my midget bathroom. So got a 4.5 by 4.5 foot bathroom in the new house. This is our half bath downstairs. We don't really use it much. One, the toilet's broke. It doesn't fill properly. It's in pretty bad shape. But yeah, everything's really low. The sink's mounted really low. Really old, small toilet. Yeah, check that out. I don't know how this was useful. Granted, I'm a pretty big guy, but it's pretty tight in here. The toilet's really close to the wall, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to move it. I hate the vent placement, like right here. I'd much rather it be over here, so I might try to move that. Those are some bigger projects, tasks to try to move the toilet or that, so we'll see. But the plan, and then they put a full towel bar here in a half bath. Not sure why, but pretty small standard half bathroom. Old outdated light. So I like projects like this because they're small. It's contained. Usually have another bathroom in the house, so this is like doesn't really limit you. Like I said, we don't use this bathroom that much anyway. But in this video, I figure I'll go through demo. So I'll go through all the steps of the different things you need to demo and remove. We're basically going to take everything out, start from a blank canvas, and do this remodel. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the demo. Alright, so one of the first things I like to do is just get the door out of the way. It gives you more room to work around while you're working on your project. So I got some old nasty blinds here. We're not keeping these, so these can go. This will just pop out. Then there's a couple screws, and then there's some old curtain rod holders. So I'll get screwdrivers and remove that hardware. Alright, for this stuff, I don't see any like screws holding it in. I'm not sure how it attaches. I like to be gentle with stuff to cause less damage, but sometimes you just gotta remove things. Alright, the toilet paper holder. These are usually just glued on, these old porcelain things. Or the knee bumper 5000. Let's see if I can get this off. There we go. Yeah. Some of the porcelain broke, but you can see like the glue they use just to go right to the sheetrock. Yep, so came out in a couple pieces, and we'll have to patch that up, but that's mostly gone. Alright, this full-size towel bar. Made a mess. Alright, one came up. Oh, they actually... Interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Alright, these usually have a couple screws or some clips. Oh, yep. So just screws on each side holding it in. So mirror's gone. Easy enough. Alright, so I got one outlet. I'm guessing they painted this outlet blue to match that old blue wallpaper. But I'll go ahead. Got one outlet, one switch cover. And we'll go ahead and remove those. So that'll all get replaced or fixed. Alright, so I think I'll remove the toilet first. I think that's like, this toilet's original to the house. See how waterlogged that flapper valve is? It's like almost deteriorated. But as you can see, the toilet doesn't fill back up. So the couple times we used this bathroom, we had to like pour water in because it doesn't fill. Yeah, it's got a date stamp, June of 1990. So this house was built in 1990. So this little guy, this tiny little toilet, which is super low to the ground, really small. So we'll get a new chair height and elongated bowl. Much more comfortable modern toilet for in here. Fits everyone better. But we'll go ahead and shut the water valve off. Alright. All the way to the right. That's shut. Now, before you remove your toilet, like after you shut the water off, you can use a plunger to force some of the most of the water down. Do that a couple times. Get a wet shop vac, get the rest of that out. So I'll probably do one of the others, but I'm gonna just keep removing stuff. So I got that cap off. So I just got some wrenches here, and we'll start removing the water line. All right, so these bolts aren't going to come off. They're so old and seized, 34, 35-year-old toilet. So the whole stud, I even tried to get a socket wrench on there, and it's just free spinning. So the stud goes into a flange, and it's the whole stud going into the flange. It's just spinning. So I'm never going to get that off. So a couple ways you can do this. It's demo, right? Well, you can get a cutting wheel or an angle grinder and cut the end of the stud off in the nut, so then you can remove the toilet. You have to do that on both sides. I imagine the other side is seized up too. Or you can take a hammer and just chip out this piece of porcelain around this flange hole so you can pull the toilet off. So I'll do one or the other. And then the toilet can be a little heavy and cumbersome to move. Usually a lot of toilets are two-piece, so you have the tank and the bowl. So there's a couple pieces of hardware on each side that hold this tank down with the bowl. Might be easier for you to remove it if you take it apart. I'll put some tools on these and see if that's going to come loose and see if I can get the tank off. Well, this nut was hand loose. Well, that's nice. This one looks rusted and seized. This one, well, looking at the tank and how it's like stuck against the wall, I don't think it even fit properly. So like there's a gap, and I don't know if this was ever tightened all the way when it was installed. I doubt anybody's messed with it. So it looks like there's just two on either side. So we'll get a tool on this one, see if we can get this tank off. Alright, so just got my wet vac, got the rest of the water out of the bowl. So funny enough, there was only one nut on that side. I got it off. I got the hand loose one off and the one that was tight. And that should come off. Boom, get rid of this. So as you can see, you can push a lot of that water down with a plunger. And now I'll just take the wet vac and get the rest out before I attempt to remove this. Alright, so shop vac, got the rest of that water out. I'll probably take this lid off too. So sometimes you need a screwdriver. These spin by hand. They're usually just plastic. There's a plastic nut underneath, and sometimes these caps just kind of like pop them off. Yeah, with a screwdriver. So we'll remove these two nylon plastic screws and take the lid off. Again, that porcelain tank was really heavy, so it'll be easier to get the toilet out if you can remove it in parts. Alright, time to remove the bowl. I'm just going for the break the porcelain method. This toilet's trash. Just be careful, because this stuff, when it's broken, is very sharp. So just be careful cleaning it up. But it shouldn't be too hard to break this porcelain. Alright, both sides, a couple whacks with the hammer. And the bowl is off. Again, very careful, it's deceiving. This stuff is super sharp, so be very gentle with it. I just want to make sure I don't get anything down the drain. A couple small pieces is fine. So I just went ahead and grabbed gloves. You should just wear gloves handling broken porcelain. Again, it is extremely sharp. I think a long time ago, I cut myself pretty bad on some of this stuff. So be careful if you have to smash some porcelain up. But now, ooh yeah. So I'm gonna have to do some work under here. To be honest, I already knew who was gonna come to this because during the home inspection before I bought the house, there was indication in the insulation under the house that there was a leak around this toilet. So now you can just really see how bad it is. This, even we didn't use this toilet that often. This wood is very soggy. Yeah, my screwdriver just pushed right through the subfloor. But I mean, I am gonna have to take all this tile up anyway. So he might not have to do some work. At most, I'll just see how much the rotted subfloor is, and cut out a part, get some new plywood subfloor. I don't know what floor. I don't know if I'm gonna do new tile. Obviously, this tile is horrendous. I might do new tile in here. Might do some like waterproof LVP flooring. I don't know yet. Alright, so just like the toilet, we're going to shut the hot and cold water off and then remove the lines. Interesting enough, these had to have been replaced. These are like plastic lines. I'm not used to seeing that. Looks really weird, but shut the two valves off, get a wrench, and disconnect the water lines, and that's where we'll start. Alright, got the water lines disconnected. Sorry if the lighting's bad, but there's two nylon like little locks holding the faucet in, so I'm going to spin those out by hand, or if too hard with some needle nose pliers. Remove the two plastic nuts, and then I should be able to pull the faucet up from the top of the sink with these water lines attached. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, those two little nylon locks came off really easy. They were just locking on these threads. Similar for sinks and vanities. It's a similar process. But we got the old faucet out. Bye. Now to see how this sink removes. To be honest, I think I'm just going to start pulling on stuff. Alright, I went to start yanking, but as soon as I did, I remembered the actual drain from the sink. I was staring at it. It's still connected to the wall back here. So I have to disconnect this drain piping from here before I can remove this. Piece of dry rock. This is a two-piece. There's some caulking adhesive here. It looks like they're kind of separated. This bottom of this looks like it's grouted and glued to the floor. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get behind here and disconnect this flanging from the sink drain first. Once that's free, I'll start tugging on it and see if I can rip this out. But we'll take a look and see what's back here. Alright, I couldn't get in there to see it, so we used the break the porcelain method there, which is work. Again, be careful. So it looks like my flange connects here, so I should just have to unloosen that, and then I should be able to pull the sink out of this P-trap. Alright, that wasn't too hard. Just took a little bit of wiggling. I used the pry bar between the edge of the sink and the wall, and it was just adhesive glued like right around here. And then look, more wallpaper. And then looks like we should be able to get this base out afterwards. It is kind of like grouted into the tile in the ground, which is annoying. But the sink did just pull out of that flange, so the drain flange is mostly still intact, which is nice, and the trap still holds water, which is good. I'm gonna get a rag or a ball to block that to stop the fumes in a minute. But again, clean up this broken porcelain, pull the sink out of here, and then we'll remove the base to the pedestal sink. SOBs, this sink is recessed down into the tile too. I mean, I grouted around it. I broke it free from the grout, but I still haven't been able to pull it out. Hopefully I don't have to smash it anymore, but I might have to. But if you look, it's recessed. So that this tile must have been done after. So they must have had the toilet up at some point, which again, they didn't raise their flange height. So the toilet flange was below the tile level, way below. It's like a ½ inch down. So that wax ring probably never sealed. So this toilet could have been leaking forever, which is why all this wood is soggy. So yeah, make sure your toilet flange, I have a video on that. They make spacers, but make sure your toilet flange is level or proud of your flooring so that you get a good seal. This will never work, it'll always leak when the flange is too low. But I'm gonna wiggle on this a few more times, see if I can pull it up inside the tile. Or I might just break it, but we should have this out shortly. Well, that was fun. So indeed, that pedestal was like adhesive to the wood subfloor. Good enough. This wood is in great. This wood subfloor is still in great shape. And yeah, they must have added this tile because there's like little 1x tiles under it. Which again, they put new tile on top of old tile, raised the floor height, and had a leaking toilet because they didn't adjust the flange up. Unbelievable. Yeah, that, and it got me into my last step, which was to remove all the baseboards and cord around. I'm not a fan of cord around, so I'm just going to rip that out and get rid of it. I'll probably reuse the baseboard if I want to, or I might go with something else, some MDF or something kind of water resistant for a bathroom. Although it's a half bath, so I do like restoring and using old parts in the house when I can. This didn't have any nails in it. There was a couple on that piece. So all this baseboard's going to come up easy. So I'm going to go ahead and rip all the baseboard and cord around up. It's really easy to do. Get yourself a little pry bar and a hammer. You can just pull it out. But yeah, I'll get this cleaned up and move that up. The rest of this baseboard and cord around up, and we are about done with our demo. So yeah, let's get it going. Have all the baseboards up. The last part will be to remove the tile. Looks like it's not going to be too hard. I did notice there's also some linoleum. So linoleum or whatever it was, tile, and then tile on top of that. But this tile is breaking apart super easy, so it just takes, it's a little time consuming. So most of the demo's done. I've probably only been in here 30 minutes or so, and we're basically done. So everything's pretty much out. I'll just sweep all this up, get everything out, chip the rest of this tile off, and then we'll have a blank canvas to start. But again, the demo you can do in an hour or two on a Saturday or on a weekend or whenever you want. But yeah, I'll go ahead and wrap this up here for the demo. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see what this bathroom turns into. I don't fully know what it's going to turn into yet, but I'll go through the whole process and how I go about restoring the whole room to something much more modern, nice, and usable. And I'll get you all the little gritty details of fixing the subfloor and stuff, which is something you might not always have to do. So yeah, thanks for watching. Again, please like and subscribe, follow along if you want to see more. All right, bye.